So, about a week ago, Scott Cawthon released a new game called Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. And of course, everyone instantly started to say things like, "Oh gee, that's the sixth part, obviously!" Theories and let's plays started popping up and all that good stuff. I looked at it and thought, nah, this cannot be legit. This cannot, right? Well, it actually was. You may have already figured it out by now, from the title for example, that my opinion is as follows. It is the worst game of the FNaF franchise. Every single one of them that came before looked and worked better. I know that Scott earlier this year said that he is tired with constantly feeling pressured to create progressively better and more involving games. And I can understand that, you know. So, why did he go ahead and make this game in the first place? He didn't have to do this game. He really didn't. But since he did, then, you know, he had about a year. That should have been enough to try and do something nice. This is an indie game, which should mean that he has as much freedom, like with the deadlines, as he wants to. Which he actually proved with the previous games, releasing them about a month before the initial release date. It's, you know, FNaF 4. FNaF 4 was designed to be on Halloween, and meanwhile it came out during the summer, and only a DLC was released later on Halloween. I'll head on to the game itself in just a moment, but I want to say a few words about what I think is actually going on. I ask myself a lot, why is this game free? Even though it's bad in my opinion, there's certainly a bunch of value in it. Voice acting, a bunch of 3D models, some minigames. Why would all this be for free? Is FNaF movie finally coming out? But seriously, I think this game is supposed to be a hype builder. You know, something that he did with FNaF 3 when he did that thing with his game being copied and leaked. And then after all, it was just a troll and hype builder. Just like back then, this one is success in that matter. A great part of the internet got pretty busy with it, at least for a few days. So now, mild spoiler alert, the ending of the story in this one seemed like an actual one of the entire series. Loose ends are gone. I have to say that it was not at all as spectacular as I had hoped it would be. I felt like it was rushed. As if, let's say, a writer was told to write the second half of his novel in 2 hours. I believe it was some form of saying, this story is done. It is over, just don't ask me about it anymore. No more of this. Then again, same thing kinda happened in FNaF 3, with the end. FNaF 4, which was kind of detached from the story itself. FNaF sister location and its custom night, which was supposed to also cut loose ends there, but failed to do so. So we'll see if anything shows up. Only time will show if I was right about this being the final. Actually, I believe that Scott is busy with something different at the moment. Something bigger, something completely separate from FNaF franchise. This would perfectly explain my assumptions. And I kinda do hope something like that happens. Because I like Scott's style, it just... the whole formula is so overused. Now, let's head to the reasons why I think this single game is bad. Number 1. Gameplay. The game can easily be separated into 2 parts. First one is building and playtesting everything in your pizzeria. It's pretty much a typical tycoon. You have to buy things for money to increase the stats of your pizzeria and earn more money. You sometimes get to order discounted items with the risk of something unwanted hiding inside of them. You can also allow for advertisement in your establishment in order to get additional money boost. Not much else to say about this one in terms of gameplay. For a horror game, this part is not serious at all. There are some jokes, few bad ones, few nice ones.
I am a candy cadet. Come get your candy here. I have candy all day, every day. Candy, candy, candy.
The second part of the game is the typical FNaF experience that never really changed in any of those games. But in my opinion, this is the worst version of it. In this one, you have to take care of the formal stuff in your office. That means printing posters, preparing silverware, paying bills, etc. I don't exactly know what exactly it was, but it really doesn't matter, because the actual way you do these tasks is to press a button on the screen and wait until it stops beeping. And then you press second one and wait, and so on until you're done with everything. Then you click log off and enjoy your victory. If any of you know how the breaker room sequence looked in Sister Location, then imagine a whole game made about that, or made with the same mechanic. You gotta do as much progress as you can in a very short time and immediately stop. Wait until it's safe again, and then continue. If you fail, you have to start over. It quickly begins to feel like a chore, something you'd like to skip and get right into the lore, because all of us are here just for the lore at this point. And you actually can do it! This is actually my favorite part of this game. After the office phase is over, you're put in front of an animatronic found in the back alley, with the decision whether to throw it away or keep it and salvage it. If you decided to salvage it, you have to inspect the animatronic by playing several audio prompts and checking his responses. You are equipped with a taser should the animatronic seem to get unstable, and by unstable they mean about to jump at you. You need to go through every prompt and document results after each, except you don't. As long as you stare at it, the animatronic won't move an inch. There is no reaction to the prompts themselves. It changes position only when you look at the answer sheet. That doesn't mean that it is stable, however. Even though he only changes position when you look away, he might still be unstable and eventually jump scare you. By looking away briefly and looking back, you can monitor the progression of his instability. If you zap him, you reset him. That's how you control the situation. Eventually the tape will end and you'll earn your salvage money, or you'll get jump scared and get no money. No matter what happens after you chose to keep it, the animatronic will start to roam around your establishment and will try to attack you in the office stage. Number 2. Graphics. A lot of players say that, graphics don't matter, story and gameplays are awesome, so fuck off! But there is certain difference between quality of graphics and stylistic choice. In this case, I'm more than sure it was a conscious stylistic choice, other than the limitations of Click Team. The game looks exactly like FNaF World. I know a lot of Scott's games look like that, but it just seems like few GIFs and images smashed together in a truly claustrophobic top-down perspective. And while in RPG it's not so painful, in this it just doesn't work. There is nothing interesting in the office stage. There are no cameras, the thing that make this series original. Nothing but your computer, desk, and black void of vents. Do you remember how jump scares in the first, second, third, and fourth FNaF fitted so well that they made the animatronic look like he was actually in front of you? Well, forget about it. Jump scares here honestly couldn't be more GIF smacked on top of the screen like. I mean, look at it. Just look at it. Bloody disappointing. It just looks like a jump scare from a shitty parody of the game, not from the actual game. The only ones that look like something fine are the salvage stage jump scares. Then again, these ones serve such a little part of the game that they're almost non-existent here. The animatronics are again presented in the withered form, more withered form, I guess. I think Scott did notice this while making FNaF World back in the day. Each of the animatronics here have 10 different forms by now. Just like in many RPGs, you have all kinds of, for example, elementals, let's say. Fire, water, wind, storm, ice, rock, light, darkness. Well, in Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, you have Freddy's. Original, Yellow Bear, Toy, Withered, Golden, Ghost, Nightmare, Fredbear, Funtime, and now you have Stitched Funtime, I guess. I really think that Scott is running out of ideas here. No offense to the man, if I were in his place, I'd have run out of them already. What I wonder is, why can't he quit this? Why can't he finally end FNaF and begin something new? Which brings me to the third and final reason. This story is so bad! Number 3. Story. Scott clearly tried to finish FNAF's story properly. Close every case, stop questions and theories that would require next game to be busted or confirmed once again. I am lost and fed up with FNAF's storyline. Actually, thinking about it now, I think it's the community that actually created the story themselves. I examined the games, played a few of them, and this hidden lore, the amount of theories that popped up on FNAF is unimaginable. With this little information, so much content was created. Oh look, how original. Another guy complaining about cancerous community. I know. Which is actually kinda why I believe Scott made this one. To draw the line, to finally stop it. Stop both sides, the haters and lovers, and theory makers, and haters of theory makers. The ending was clearly trying its best to tie up every loose end, but it just didn't work for me. I have a feeling that it could have worked better if I viewed every MatPat theory video on FNAF, a series that has most of its story hidden in the backstory, which most of players would never notice if not the YouTube vids, honestly can't have a strong finish. It's like telling the end of the book to somebody who's never read it. He would neither have any emotions towards the character nor understand most of the plot. Except, the game itself should have understandable plot even if you don't know whole story. Or should it not? I gotta give credit to Scott for doing his best to come up with something that does make sense, but objectively looking at it, it's just a bad story. Nothing else.